Can I tell you a secret? I am flawed. I have mommy issues. Does that make me worthless? Does that make me a man that you want to run away from and somebody you don't want to know, somebody that's not worth loving? I have children. I love my children. There's no doubt. And I'm married. I love my wife, and I feel like she loves me too. But we don't love each other the way we're supposed to. We don't love each other the way I want to be able to love one another. Um, I want us to share more. I want us to love each other more deeply. I want us to have a better connection. But we're working on that, and I feel confident that I'm with the right woman, and it will happen. Because I suffer from this avoidant attachment issue, um, it makes it real difficult for me to understand this concept of love. And because I have difficulty understanding it, I naturally feel like everybody else out there also has difficulty understanding it. So I just want to elaborate a little bit on what I'm talking about. So I'm going to paint a picture for you, and I'm going to do it with a story that goes along with the movie. It is The Notebook, the story of two people. The elderly man is Noah. The elderly woman is Allie. But the significant part of the story is where Allie, she's got dementia, and she's living in a nursing home. And she just does not remember the details of her life from day to day. Noah is reading to her from this notebook one day in the nursing home. He does this all the time, but she doesn't remember who he is. She doesn't remember that he reads to her every day. She's got dementia. In any case, one day he's reading to her, and for some unknown reason, very briefly, the dementia just lifts from her mind, and she remembers everything. She remembers who she is. She remembers Noah. She remembers that they had kids together, that they loved each other, and been married for like 50 years. And when this happens, it is so touching. Reason why I'm talking about this is because it illustrates the kind of love that I'm talking about. This is the kind of love that I have always been incapable of achieving with my romantic partners. But I do now believe that I'm capable of it. I know why it's been out of my reach all these years. And I'm just a lot more aware of the concept and what brought it about and what I can do about it. In a moment, we're going to be talking about 5 signs that will help you. If you're a man, it will help you identify these things, your issues, and you can, kind of dive into them, do some research, and get to work on yourself because it's not out of your reach. You can rectify the damage that was done to you so very long ago. And if you are a female watching this video and you're wondering if perhaps the man that you are looking at suffers from mommy issues, this is going to help you identify that. I feel qualified to talk about this, not only because I'm a registered nurse, and I'm licensed in the state of Texas, so I do feel an ethical responsibility to shoot you straight. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm never going to give you information that I just pull out of thin air. This is all evidence-based, and you can look it up yourself. Again, I don't claim to be a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a flawed registered nurse. And mental health is not my specialty. I've been a nurse for 9 years, the first 5 of which I spent in the ICU, so critical care. And for the last 4 years, I've been dialysis. So I treat renal failure patients. Let's get started. There's a lot to know. Mommy issues. To be more appropriate, issues of attachment. So your mom is crucial to your development. I mean, isn't the mother the first person that children, babies, ever have the opportunity to bond with? They are supposed to teach us how to get through life and be everything that we should be. For one reason or another, it doesn't always happen. Could be that mom works so much that she just is never around. Could be that your mom was a druggie. Could be that your mom just wasn't a very intelligent woman and was preoccupied with herself and whatever man was in her life. Okay, so that's my story. But no matter, doesn't matter the reason, just that you didn't get what you needed when you needed it. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your potential man's fault. It was out of their hands. The ability to form lasting, true, connected relationships is everything. I mean, getting through life without being able to do such things, it is so tedious. It is so much work. I stay in a state of anxiety all the time, to some extent because of just fearfulness, you know. I've always been afraid of what? I don't even know. I'm just afraid. The number one sign that your man suffers from avoidant attachment is the fact that he is, for some unknown reason, attached or attracted to older women. This is not entirely natural for a man to be attracted to a woman that is significantly older than him. When we're talking 1 to 5 year age difference, no big deal. But when we start getting much above that or in double digits, the relationship usually has some aspect of transaction to it. You know, all things being as they should be, men are attracted to women his own age or perhaps younger than him. This is just a biological thing, you know. We have in us the need or desire to procreate, to reproduce. And of course, it's a younger woman that is going to be more equipped to do that. Number two is the man in question doesn't understand boundaries. He doesn't understand personal boundaries for himself. He doesn't understand boundaries that should exist for his partner. His mother never taught him these details. He has no concept of femininity and how to treat a woman, how to respect her, how to honor her. He doesn't communicate well. He plays games with her. He'll push her buttons or push the limits with her because he's stuck in his childhood and he was never taught these things by his mother. He doesn't know how to look at women. He doesn't have the respect for them that he should. He wasn't taught what is okay and what is not. I'm going to share more embarrassing details because, again, I'm trying to paint the most descriptive picture. I suffer from this ailment, so therefore I didn't learn the things that I was supposed to. There was a time when I was 19 years old, the first time I was married, that I mistreated my wife. She was my girlfriend and then my wife. I mistreated her. Now, I never, closed my hand and hit her with my fist or anything like that, but I was verbally, emotionally abusive, and I may have even gone so far as to push her around. I definitely scared her and made her run away from me as fast as she could. I lifted my hand, or at least gestured as if to lift my hand to this girl. And you don't do that. That's not okay. That is crossing the line. That is, exceeding a boundary that should never be exceeded. And I have a son that I have taught to respect women. I have a daughter who I have taught to demand respect from. But my son, I taught him, under no circumstances do you raise your hand to a woman. I don't care if she needs it. Yeah, I have a son. I've taught him what I wasn't taught. Wow, so emotional. I told you I'd be real and shoot you straight. You know, I have a past that I'm not proud of, but I learned from my mistakes. So, to elaborate on number two, boundaries, he doesn't know how to regulate his emotions. He doesn't communicate well, and when times get stressful, he can raise his voice. I'm guilty of this even today. You know, I still get excited when my wife and I have, I don't know, just issues of disagreement. I still tend to raise my voice. My wife's a powerful woman, a strong woman. So she'll look at me behaving this way, raising my voice, and just like say, "Why are you yelling? I'm right here." That's that's not necessary. And I feel like, oh, okay. They can often come across very immature because they don't know how to act. They don't know how to regulate their emotions under stressful situations. And it sounds awful. They sound like monsters, but you have to remember, you know, we're talking about abuse. They were abused. Neglect is a form of abuse. I try to think back to what I was thinking about. Do I remember when I was 3 to 5 years old? I kind of feel like I do. I do remember when I was 3 to 5 years old. And what I do remember of my early childhood with regard to my mother is that she was pretty well preoccupied with herself and her own needs and looked at me as more of just something that she had to tolerate. You're supposed to love a child. You're supposed to lift them up and encourage them and teach them and let them know how important they are. Number three, the man will have a history of getting involved with emotionally unavailable women or abusive women. And this can go both ways. I mean, it can work for the same way for a woman. A woman can be attracted to emotionally unavailable men or abusive men because she has daddy issues. And those are crude, rude names and severe oversimplification of the root cause, which is, of course, attachment issues, neglect at a very early age. They are looking to fix what was broken in their moms. They want to do this with their new chosen partners. It may sound a little bit twisted that a man is choosing his potential romantic or sexual partner um, in somebody that reminds him of his mother, you know? Am I saying that he wanted to bed his mother? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he sees things in them that he saw in his mother, and he wants to fix those things. Normal men will be repelled or turned off by women that are dysfunctional. Vice versa, normal female, well-adjusted female will be turned off by dysfunctional men. This is one of the aspects of my wife that I find so attractive and always have. The fact is, she came from a stable home. Mommy gave her everything she needed. So she is what we call stable or secure attachment. She's very secure. She's able to share and do the things that I cannot. That doesn't mean that she necessarily does, because to be honest, she keeps her guard up because she knows I keep my guard up. And of course, I keep my guard up because that's all I've known. Men, you're going to be weirded out by an emotionally stable woman being nice to you, being kind, being thoughtful to you. You're not used to that. You didn't receive that as a young child. So when a stable, well-adjusted woman tries to give that to you, you're going to be weirded out. You're going to think, what's going on here? Is she playing games with me? Is she trying to manipulate me? No, that's just the way things are supposed to be. You're just not used to it. All right, moving right along. Number 4, the fear of abandonment. This, again, goes both ways. A man with mommy issues or a female with daddy issues. They both have a significant fear of abandonment by their significant other. Um, this stems from being let down at a very early age. They feel like they need constant validation. They're always looking for approval. They're always looking for attention. Women can do it by, how they carry themselves, how they dress. Men can be guilty of it in the same manner. They're show-offs. They feel the need to post pictures of themselves in the best light on social media, standing in front of beautiful cars or fancy houses. They need constant validation, constant approval. So also the fear of abandonment can lead to different addictions. These men might be addicted to gambling or porn or drugs, alcohol, sex. The list goes on and on. Even just working out and overdoing it in the gym. Being too focused on their body. They're looking to fill the void, whatever's missing in their life. Of course, they can't put their finger on it, but they've got to try to do something to fill this emptiness. This feeling of always missing something, but you can't put your finger on it. It's very true. I've had this all of my life, and it can really become a stressor in your life and have you on edge a lot of the time. Trusting others is so very difficult. And this carries over to all aspects of my life. I'm not just talking about not being able to trust significant others, but people in the public, the guy at the tire store. I don't trust anybody. So that's kind of a tough way to get through life. When a man misses out on the emotional closeness that he should have had with his mother, he has difficulty having that emotional closeness with any significant other as an adult. In a normal relationship between two healthy people, they are going to grow closer and closer over time. They're going to share more and more with one another. They're going to reveal their vulnerabilities to the other. This is going to lead them to a deeper kind of love, the kind of love that I have always wanted and am still striving for. The kind of love that Noah had with Ali. This leads me to number 5. He is emotionally unavailable. For men, you can take a look at yourself and see that this is true. It's not very hard. I can admit it. It's the way I remember myself being all of my life, emotionally unavailable. Just difficulty sharing vulnerabilities with my significant other. Women are very intuitive. They pick up on more than you might think. They sense that you are not being freely open with them and being closed off. They'll only tolerate this for so long, pulling further and further away from you. And this is a self-defense mechanism. He is trying to end things so that you don't hurt him. All right, that's 5 things. In conclusion, men, be aware. If you fit this description, understand that you can change things. Ladies, beware. There are some beautiful men out there, handsome, tall men, successful men, men that look like the perfect catch. But inside, they are broken, they are flawed. Don't try to fix them. I'm not saying these men are worthless. I would never, because I am one of these flawed, broken men. If you're still with me, I thank you. I appreciate your time and attention. If you are not a member of the Merce George channel, I implore you, think about subscribing because I value every one of my subscribers. Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one.